Hey folks, welcome back to the Kerbal Space Program with Jay here. Last time we left off, we just did a little shoot up in the air and collected some science points, and I've been doing a little bit of work off camera, and I've put one orbiter into a perpetual orbit. I actually ran out of fuel, so it's doing its perpetual orbit, and here's this, and that's got Jebediah Kerman in there. In this second one, we have the Kerbal Orbiter 2, and I have just did a burn that's going to pull that out of its orbit, and that will land us safely in the middle of this Kerbal Ocean, and that's going to get us some science points, and then we'll be able to see if we can't get some upgrades. I think our next plan of attack is going to be getting to Moon, which is the Kerbal Moon analog. Fun fact for those of you who don't know, our moon is not actually called Moon. It is named Luna, which means moon. So I guess it technically is called Moon. But what we're gonna do is I'm decreasing in my altitude here, and I'm gonna start lining myself up into the opposite direction. I got a little bit of liquid fuel here. I shouldn't need it, and now I'm gonna just burn a little bit more, and that's gonna slow me down right there. You can see right there, and this might actually put me really close. I think this is the launching site for the Kerbal, the Space Center there, so that'll be really nice. And I'm going to go ahead, and since I know for a fact that I'm going to be landing, I'm going to go ahead and detach that stage, and I will send that stage off into space. And that's just going to be, I don't think that'll be space junk. I think that won't be able to go back into orbit. I think that's just going to collapse right down into that ocean, maybe burn up it. Probably won't burn up in the atmosphere. In real life, it would probably burn up in the atmosphere, but for this, I think it's just gonna come down later on in that ocean. So I'm going to, the capsule here is a little bit wonky to deal with, and I'm just gonna line that up on the X there, and that's just gonna be free falling for a while. I'm gonna go ahead and speed up our descent a little bit. Get us a little closer into the upper parts of the atmosphere. And as you can see up here, this is my atmosphere gauge. And once I start getting up here into this area, we're going to start seeing a couple of atmospheric effects on the machine there. So, and in a real situation, you would have your heat shield on this back portion. And we are now out of space. We're going to line ourselves up. This is a little bit wonky to line with. Just line ourselves up with that X mark so we have this heat shield going. And there we go. Bill is looking pretty excited to come back home. This is Bill Kerman. He's a little bit more skittish than Jeb. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring him back. We're going to bring him back home, and we're going to try to, we're going to get some science out of this. And now we're going over our last little bit of ocean here. I don't think we can see our debris anymore. Oh, there's Moon. That's going to be our next go round. We're going to see what we can do there. And we're looking pretty good coming in on this descent here. Bill's pretty happy. I think at about 10,000 we're going to go ahead and pull out our drag chute. Maybe 5,000. Maybe 5,000. That'll save some time. Speeding this up just a little bit here. And I'm going to pull off my SAS and put it into a spin, I guess. This thing is there we go. It's going to automatically, it's going to line up in the direction of least resistance here. Now, I said there'd be some atmospheric effects, but I don't even know that I have the atmospheric effects on, just because I don't want to overtax my computer too much. Oh, there's our debris. There it is. It's coming. And here we are. Now, I think... Here we are coming in. We're coming into this mountain range a little bit. Ideally, we would have... I'm going to go ahead and pop the parachute now. Ideally, we would have landed in the ocean. And I actually think the Kerbal Space Center is right over here. Ideally, we would have landed in the ocean. But for this situation, we should be okay. We should be okay just landing on the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up again. And we're going to get down. And then at 500 meters, our chute is going to go ahead and open. We're going to collect our vessel. We're going to collect our vessel. Collect our science. And then we're going to see what we can get. And we're coming down here. We're looking pretty good. And as you can see right here on the surface speed, there we go. Oh, that popped a lot here. Okay. Now, we must be 500 meters above the closest landmass here. So we're going to land us on a mountain. I bet Bill will really appreciate that, having to walk back home. Actually, this is very similar to what the Russians do. In the Russian space program, what they'll do is they'll land in a field, and they'll just a middle of a field, and they'll have all the camera crews out there in the middle of this field, and they pull the astronauts out, and they are just like sitting on these. They put them in these armchairs, and they have to carry them to the containment room. So what they do is they put them on these armchairs, and they carry these astronauts in these big armchairs to their decontainment facility, and they debrief them there. So I guess Bill is, we're going to land right on the side of this mountain. So that'll be interesting. And here he comes. Oh, his little capsule fell over. And we're rolling just a little bit. There we go. We've come to a stop. We're recovering the vessel. There we go. Let's see how much science we get out of this. See how much equipment we saved. We have a data value of 10 science, and we did some experiments and everything. So we have a total of 16 science points. So we're going to go ahead and go into our research and development, see what we got. We have our basic rocketry, general rocketry, and that requires 20 science. So we're going to need a little bit more science from this. And this has our big solid fuel booster, our separatron, which separates the different stages so they don't run into each other. We have our survivability, which has a smaller fuel engine, which is great for the upper atmosphere. And we have some landing struts. I think... Now, we have enough for this, so I'm going to go ahead and get this because I really like those landing struts. And this opened up a new science and technology. So we got a battery pack, which is going to be really great because... as you can see, we had a pretty small charge on our previous battery pack, and then we have a different comm, so we have some electronics, and that requires a lot less electricity. And then we have the Science Junior, which is a self-contained laboratory. Here it says you can pause that and read that if you want to. So we're going to go ahead and go back, and then we are going to revamp our rocket, and then I will be back with you when I'm going to go ahead and probably do a time lapse here, and then I'll be back with you when we have our new rocket. Okay, welcome back, folks. We have our new rocket here, and what we're going to try to do is see how far we can get. We're going to get into our Kerbal orbit, and then from there, I'm going to see if I have enough fuel to get to the moon, and if I do, then that's where we're going to go. So I've saved it. I've named it the Shoot the Moon, and we're going to go ahead and launch this rocket. Here, we're focusing on the Shoot the Moon with Bill Kerman. And Bill is going to try to be the first Kerbal to orbit the moon. He's not going to be able to land. We're not going to get anywhere close to landing because we just don't have the fuel or the power for it. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and light up our little deal here. And we're going to launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. We're looking good. I like the looks of this. We're staying pretty straight. I added some winglets. Now we're doing a little bit of a drifty here. So I'm trying to correct that a little bit. You might be able to hear me smacking that keyboard. We're just kind of flipping around a little bit here. Just trying to keep it on the straight and narrow. And I'm actually gonna drop this down a little bit just so that we're increasing. We're doing a little bit of a twist here, and I think that might be because of these winglets. I'm going to decrease this a little bit more, try to get as much out of these liquid fuel boosters as we can. There we go. It's a little bit easier to control now. Still twisting around a little bit. See where we are here. Yeah. We just need to... Actually, we can start doing our gravity turn a little bit. And we're just gonna get that up to the 90. Just lock it in there. And yeah, you can see we're really starting to wibble wobble over here. And there go those engines. There they go. And we're really increasing this. I like that. And we're not using a whole lot of power here, which is good. I'm actually going to increase that. Bring that up. And I'm going to try to bring this up to about 70. My fuel's still looking pretty good. Once I get this at about 70, I'm going to cut it off. There we go. Going back to my view, I got tons of fuel, which is really awesome. I'm really happy about that. And then I'm going to shoot the moon. And if I can, once I get into an orbit, I can maybe use the rest of this fuel. It shouldn't take me all this fuel to get into the orbit. So I can use the rest of the fuel to do my translunar burn. And then from there, I will be able to save the I'll be able to save my top stage for the lunar injection, and then we can, from there, we'll be able to now. Yeah, I need to get into a stable orbit before I try anything crazy. And what I'm gonna do is right about there. I want to do. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I need to burn now. Yeah, I'm burning now. I almost missed that. That's right about where I want to be. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, that's why. Oh, that's gonna... We got a little wonky here. I want to get my apoapsis to catch back up to me. Hopefully this turns out well. Yeah, this little engine here is not super powerful. So we may actually need more fuel, which would be disappointing. There we go, bringing that back up. We still have lots of fuel. I need to bring this back up to 70 again. And then we can... Now, right now, I can actually tilt over a little bit. Start to widen the orbit. And I can actually lay down a little bit, too. Right about there. It's, as you can tell, it's a little bit difficult. Like there's not much power behind this little rocket, but it's doing what it can, and it doesn't take up a whole lot of fuel. I mean, we still got half here, and then once we're doing our maneuvers to like out in the depths of space, once we're in our orbit, I think it'll be a lot easier to maneuver around. You can see we're increasing our orbit, and it's really going to speed up here now that we're out to this edge bit. We're still looking good on our fuel. Actually, we need to lay down a little bit. Right there. Right there. And then when we get here, I want to add a maneuver that's going to get us out to about 100. Okay. Ooh. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and speed us up because it's going to take us a little bit to get to this. 3, 2, 1. Okay, in about a minute, we'll do this here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this up into 2 episodes. So once I'm on my way to the moon, then I'm going to cut there, and then next week we will shoot the moon, and then we'll see if we have enough fuel to get into an orbit, and then if not, then we'll just slingshot back and come on home. So I'm gonna bring this down here, and I'm gonna go ahead and start my burn. There we go. We are at 100 and 102. That is very nice. I like the looks of that. And we're on a fairly even shot here. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up our There we go. And we're going to set that up. And we'll see how that burn goes. That'll be the one. It says it's going to take 59 seconds. I don't think it's going to take that long. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording here, and I will see you folks next week. See ya.